When you're starting out in tailoring, it's very easy to feel lost, and so having a good mentor to guide you through the initial stages is crucial. But how can you tell if someone is a good teacher? Because not every teacher is necessarily the best in their field, but it shouldn't be a reason for why they can't produce great students who eventually have a massive impact on their industry. You know, a bad teacher can crush your imagination and completely demotivate you. But a skilled and a thoughtful teacher not only makes the learning process efficient, but it also makes it more enjoyable. Now, I've had the opportunity to be the student of some great teachers in my life who had like a good impact and a big impact on me. But at the same time, I also had some dreadful ones. And so, therefore, I've always been very sensitive and skeptical towards people in a teaching position because of the great responsibility they have towards their students and their apprentices. Now, good teachers are scarce, and so being able to identify one helps you and gives you the confidence to choose them if you have seen one, and it also prevents you from all those paralyzing effects that doubt has. And so these are the couple of things that I would look for in a good teacher. First of all, I think a good teacher is an excellent communicator with the ability to articulate complicated matters in a simplified way. And the ability to communicate through analogies and visuals and case studies is an essential skill that they must have. Secondly, I think the role of a teacher is to prevent you from reinventing the wheel and to go through all of those years of experience only to get to their level, but really to compress what they've been learning and pass it on to you so you can build on top of that and discover the things that they didn't get time to discover. In this way, we don't end up resetting the cycle of learning, and also we keep on building on top of each other's efforts. I think a good teacher gets you emotionally involved in what you do and really helps you find your purpose and to really work for it. They help you to guide yourself through the narrow paths of the industry, but at the same time, they expand your perspective on it. If you present them with a good idea, a good teacher would most of the time say, do it, rather than don't do it. And also a good teacher really helps you to reflect, identify, and evaluate your flaws by encouraging you to ask the right questions. Now, apart from criticizing your own work, a good teacher also shows you not only how to challenge the work of others in a constructive way, but also how to appreciate it. You see, criticizing is easy, but appreciation, not so. I think a good teacher is always improving. And it's normal for them to contradict themselves every once in a while because that's called change and growth is dependent on it. And so a good teacher is always challenged by the critical questions that his or her students have and is willing to get criticized and to admit to their flaws without getting defensive. You see, there's nothing worse than a defensive teacher because that's just not going to get you anywhere. I think good teachers respect you and understand that you as an intelligent person may do certain things a lot better than them. And even if you don't have the same amount of experience, they know that you grow and that you're not always on day one, and they're always observing your work, either directly or indirectly, in order to be able to give you feedback. You see, it's very important for a teacher to say, show me how you do it, without just blah, 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 just talking about this is what you need to do, but really be like, okay, how do you do it? And look and observe patiently and then say, okay, this is where you go wrong. Now let's do it again. And so go through that procedure rather than just say, blah, 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 this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And this really comes back to their motivation as well. You see, a good teacher doesn't teach to define hierarchies, but they're really motivated because of the great potential that they have seen in you. And so their mission is to help you to bring out the genius in you by encouraging discipline and hard work. I think it's crucial for them to be clear on the steps of progression, like, okay, this is where we're going to start, this is where we're going to go, and this is where we're going to end. Because if you're in a cycle of this mysticism and like mystique and vagueness of, oh, you know, once you're ready, I will tell you, and shit like that, then, you know, I don't think that should be appreciated, because for those things, you have the astrology section of your local newspaper. And so it should be very clear to you what your teacher has in mind, where you're going to start, where you're going to go, and where you're going to end. I think excellent teachers are good leaders who in turn produce better leaders. And so a lot of emphasis is put on developing others, you see. You don't just learn to be good at something and that's it, you know. You ideally are improving others around you, although you're getting better yourself as well, because that's the only way we can create stronger teams and grow our companies and eventually grow our industry. Now, I know that this is like a very big subject, and you know, different schools have different thoughts, and if you're learning civil engineering in an academy or like in a university, you know, you have different principles than when you are apprenticing someone for like 4 years and it's like a one-on-one. And so we can't really compress everything like a 2-minute video, but I would like to know your experiences. I would like to know your thoughts on this, because it's important that we share these experiences to raise the standards of teaching. You know, it's all well to just find someone who can do something so you can learn from him or her, but it's so much better when the standards and the expectations are a lot higher, and everybody knows that. So feel free to comment your experiences and your thoughts, and if you don't want to share your personal experiences publicly, just send me like a private message or a voice message on Instagram, and I'll reply to that. So as for now, bye-bye.